Okay. So, Jason, there was a Nintendo Direct today to the surprise of everyone.
Today? We had
Yes,
to call an emergency pod because of this.
we did. We did. We had to call an emergency podcast, and, well, you could call it a podcast. It's not really an emergency segment.
Yeah.
We're just talking about this today.
Yeah.
And then it's back to scheduled programming.
On today, on the day of the 3DS's anniversary. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. We just posted our top 12 3DS games, 2 hour long segment talking about one of the greatest systems of all time because today is actually the anniversary of the 3DS.
But they didn't even talk about it in the direct. How dare
Isn't
they?
that sad? Shouldn't have they should have said something, especially considering they launched their Nintendo Today app, which is talking about things that are happening today with Nintendo.
That is.
They should have like a history element to that. Like also on this day, we launched Kid Icarus. Not today, but you know what I mean.
Do you want to talk about the Nintendo Today right now, or do you want to wait?
I think we should start talking about like our overall thoughts, just kind of like not games, let's overall let's give it a grade first and then let's dive into it.
Do you want to? Do you want to say first? What's your grade?
You know, I think this would be a stupendous 7 out of 10.
Oh, you're going numbers.
Well, you know, we could go letter grade. I guess if you say grade, that implies number, but
7 seems very high to me.
you think so?
This is a 4 or a 3.
Wow.
Not bad, but like not. It's not its fault. This is the stuff. This is the chaff they don't want to have in the Switch 2 presentation.
Yeah, exactly. You see, this is actually kind of like why I think it's kind of higher for me. I feel like because I know that the meat is on the way, I was able to just kind of sit back, relax, and enjoy this direct, and it was a solid 7 out of 10 for me.
Everything here was a bonus because there were no expectations, but but I can't I'm not gonna rate it on that curve. If
You know
I
what?
put it
You're
up
right.
against
I should not grade it like I'm in school. Because like I'm saying 7 out of 10 as if it's a C. It's a 5 out of 10 direct.
Yeah. Well, I mean, when I was thinking letter grades, I was gonna say C as well, but a C.
Yeah, it's
like
a
in this
low C.
Yeah, like in this context, I think it's like a 3 or a 4 if we're going numbers because it's definitely a below average direct, but it's not a big deal because this isn't the main course.
100%. Like if this was our only direct we were getting for like 6 months, this would have been a tragedy.
This exactly well said.
Yeah. But I think that like this one is kind of like that pre E3 direct we reacted to recently where they're kind of getting things out of the way, and I'm not bothered by that, and I like it and I want more of it, you know? So like I'm okay with this.
A lot of stuff we've already seen before, and the new stuff didn't like blow my mind. So that's why I'm saying that.
Well, we should start working our way through it one by one. First thing, they had a strong opening. Dragon Quest 1 and 2.
Well, I mean, we already knew about this, so it's like it's not something new.
We hadn't seen it though.
You're right. They just said that it was coming. But like we have seen Dragon Quest 3 HD remake, and this is just more. It's just the same thing.
It looks like the same thing, but for me, I wasn't totally sure that the graphics were going to be like that upgraded, you know? Like I wasn't sure if it was going to look maybe slightly worse, maybe trend more towards that standard HD 2D look.
You're the one who said you don't enjoy the HD 2D look, so what do you think of this?
I think this is much better than HD 2D.
No, I think this just is, but like Dragon Quest fits it like a glove, especially the old games.
It was fun to kind of see how things were recreated because I haven't played Dragon Quest 3, and so but I have played 1 and 2. And to kind of see how the things are translated, like I was recognizing all of the different locations. I'm like, oh, they really kind of hyped up the Spring of Bravery, or I think this is kind of cool. There's a new character for Dragon Quest 2. Not sure what that's going to be all about.
Well, it's to give us a round 4, I would imagine, because a full party is 4. In the Dragon Quest parlance, but you only get 3 in Dragon Quest 2. So
it's true.
That's my theory. Is they just give you a 4th now.
Maybe that's to try and make it quote unquote easier. I don't know.
I don't know about that.
The people qualify it as a difficult game, but it's really not that difficult.
Let me tell you, they made Dragon Warrior 3 or Dragon Quest 3 more difficult in the HD 2D version.
That's kind of cool.
They didn't tone it down. They toned it up. IMO.
Well, I think that's a pretty decent start. Again, it's one of those announcements we already knew about, but it's just nice to start a direct and hear that music.
Sure.
Because I was actually in the other room finishing up my coffee when it came on, and I heard the yeah, so good. So
the direct's at 10 a.m. So I have an alarm set for like 9:40, and it goes off, and there's something very wrong because I am in a pool of sweat, and my balls are as big as a watermelon, just sprawled out everywhere because there's no AC and it's hot, and I sleep with a fan pointed directly on me normally.
Yeah, I mean, we live in Florida. That's I can't remember the last time I slept without a fan blowing on me.
Yeah, like it's normally directly, and it's off. And not only is that off, everything is off, and I'm like, well, fuck. The direct's about to start, and I don't have power. So, of course, I grab my phone, and it has, like, 20%. So, like, it's not good enough. So...
That's not good enough to watch the whole direct?
No, well, maybe it would have
Is your battery dying?
My battery's not that good. Like, I've had my phone a couple of years.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I watched, like, I watched the first few things, and then I'm like, you know what, I gotta save battery.
Yeah.
And then I got in my car, and I drove around and charged it up a bit. And then I came back home and watched the rest of it on my newly charged phone. Yeah.
You reminded me of when I was delivering subs for Jimmy John's when the Breath of the Wild E3 Direct started. And I pulled over from delivering subs and was like watching it in the parking lot of like a Mercedes-Benz dealership I had just delivered subs to.
Hell yeah.
It was beautiful. But charging my phone while you're driving, this is real shit.
My best Nintendo Direct story, like watching on my phone, is when I worked at Subway, there was a huge blizzard, like a horrible blizzard. But you can't just we just didn't close the store. We just left it open until normal time. Mm-hmm. But I didn't get a single customer for about 6 hours because there was just a blizzard. Oh, yeah, so
that's cozy.
Of course, it was the night of a Direct. The Direct started at 8 p.m. or something for some reason. They don't do that anymore. Now it's always mornings.
Yeah, they've definitely trended earlier in recent years. You're right. They did used to do more later in the past.
But I sat at the at the table right next to the entrance of the place just watched an entire Nintendo Direct on my phone during that blizzard. So that was a cozy one.
Well, let's get back into it.
Yeah, let's start talking about the...
Yeah, we had another technical difficulty real quick, so we decided to do a quick aside. We talked about Dragon Quest 1 and 2, and now we're going to talk about Date.
Yeah, let's talk about Kamada Dante, whatever the heck this was.
Yeah.
It's like a weird detective game that you go around and you talk to anime girls and you solve puzzles, and I don't know. It looked cool to me.
It looked pretty good. Graphically, it was very wrapped up. Chunsoft, as we said before our thing messed up. Yeah.
I mean, as I said, anything that reminds me of Snatcher is a winner in my book. So
yeah. Well, I haven't played Snatcher, so.
Well, you should. It's 5 hours long.
Yeah, I really should. Snatcher SD or Snatcher?
What? And Snatcher SD is some weird chibi thing that nobody's ever played. So
I watched Choops play it.
Is it even in English? I don't even think it's in English.
Maybe it was, maybe it wasn't. Maybe there's a patch. I don't remember.
I don't think there's a fan translation.
Okay.
You know what's funny about whenever I try to get people to play Snatcher? They are extraordinarily turned off by the fact that you have to play it on Sega CD.
Really?
Yeah, everybody I try to get to play it, there's no, but isn't it on PlayStation and stuff? And I'm yes, but not in English. It's only in English on the Sega CD. And they're what about fan trains? No, they never did it they just Sega CD. Plus the Sega CD version is way better anyway. Here are two screenshots. Yeah. One looks like shit, one looks awesome. Why do you want to play the one that looks like shit?
Well, it's also wildly expensive. Do you own it?
Oh, well, no, of course fucking not, no. But if you own a Sega CD, you can just burn the disc and play it. There's no difference.
Whoa, shh.
And B, you don't own a Sega CD anyway, especially if you have reservations about emulating one. Just emulate the game.
Yeah.
Like Sega CD emulation is perfect. Like there's no reason. It's just it's fine. Just do that.
We do not advocate for anything of this nature officially.
Yeah, we do. The game is like it's like $2,000. Like, of course you're not gonna fucking buy it.
Well, let's move on. There was another cool thing that came right after this called Raido, which is a remaster of a game that we both hadn't heard of.
Yeah, I've literally like the main character looks exactly like one of the people in Persona 5. So I thought as soon as this started, I'm like, oh, a Persona or not a Persona 5, SMT 5. Yeah. I'm like, oh, a SMT 5 spinoff? What is this?
Yeah,
and then
yeah,
then they said it was like a remaster of some game. I've already seen 2 different people pretend to know what this is on Discord. So
yeah. That's an issue with every Nintendo Direct. You get a lot of people like very, very fakely excited for things that they know are a big deal to some people, and so they want to pretend like they were always fans and jump on that train for clout.
This is like I'm in SMT. Like I feel like I know Atlas, but I don't know this game.
Yeah, I know Shin Megami Tensei. I've never heard of this.
Let me Google it. Like
I will say, like when I was looking at this looked rough a little bit. Like it's a remaster, but it looked like choppy. Like, you know, we looked at Date. Yeah. Date looked clean. This looked a little choppy, a little lower effort. But it still looked like it could be a lot of fun gameplay wise.
That's par for the course for Atlas. They didn't really figure the Switch out.
Yeah, few did, but those who did a good job.
Like SMT5, like it's on PS5 and Xbox now, but for like 3 or 4 years it was trapped on the Switch, and it was kind of a tragedy, even though the game's not that good. Just because you're trapped on something that it's like struggling to hit 30 frames normally. And most of the time it's dipping like way below that.
This is part of the reason why I hate the Link's Awakening remake.
Yeah.
It's just insulting. It's like we have like Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom running like pretty flawlessly. And like in this 2D chibi like little miniature toy game, I walk outside and it's like 10 frames per second. It's just outrageous.
You would be offended at SMT5 then.
I'm offended too because you look at the Game Boy game and it's like this feels like a downgrade. Like the Game Boy game runs smooth, 60. You know.
You want to know my hot take with Link's Awakening?
Yeah, let's hear it.
I prefer it in black and white.
I totally see that. I mean, that was the original version.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that. Like, everybody always says you're gonna play Link's Awakening, you gotta play either DX or maybe even the Switch for the Switch. It's like no. Yeah, original Game Boy. That's where it's.
You know, I have mentioned something about this before actually, because I have a video that no one really watches anymore that was about the Zelda handheld and how cool I thought it was that they picked the original Game Boy version instead of DX to be on that Zelda Game & Watch device.
Yes, you are so right. You are so. Oh man, I'm hurt. I didn't remember that because
no, that's fine. That was actually like a giveaway video at first, and I changed the title later. So there's really no reason to watch it.
We both have a W take on that.
Yeah,
I feel like just the black and white or the green and yellow, or whatever you want to say.
Yeah,
it just adds to like the dream like nature of that game.
It kind of does. It serves a purpose.
And in DX, it feels like they took crayons and just kind of scribbled all over the game.
Yeah, the color science, if you want to say color science of that, it's like
it doesn't feel it
looks kind of good in some areas, but it looks more like it's definitely painted after the fact.
Yeah,
you know,
it doesn't feel intentional to me. It feels like it feels like an auto-gen thing where there's just like weird like inconsistencies or like it doesn't look quite right in this area.
It looks more like it looks less serious.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Not to mention the color dungeon.
We're like diving deep into Link's Awakening Game Boy versus Game Boy Color. Like,
yeah.
Okay, let's get back to the Direct.
All right.
The next thing that looked interesting to me was Patapon. But is there something I'm skipping over for you?
I wrote down Patapon. What the fuck is this? I do not care about this.
Yeah, it looked like the funny thing is when I was looking at it, it kind of reminded me of Loco Roco, just in the way that it was operating. I had to look this up. I didn't know what it was beforehand. It turns out it was a Vita game.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so like this is
Wow.
kind of like a Vita game coming to Switch, which is pretty cool.
I guess.
I thought it looked fun. Like I would try this game. I would try this game. You should
They
download it digitally and then you should loan it to me with a digital game card and I'll play it for 2 weeks.
Do you want to get into that?
Well, let's save that for later. Let's save that for later. I was just making a quick joke.
They announced 2 rhythm games in this direct, and this is not the one I give a fuck about.
This is not the one you should play if you're going to play one. Yeah. Actually, they talked about a Crypt of the Necrodancer game as well, right? So it's like 3 rhythm games.
I don't care about that.
Yeah, I don't think anyone does. Plus, they already talked about it in the last direct. There was a lot of like overlap between the last direct and this direct. Actually,
I'm sorry, Dagamus, if you're watching this. I don't care. He sent me a physical copy of Crypt of the Necrodancer, and it's still sealed. Dang. I never unsealed it. Yeah, I don't care.
Did he get the Cadence of Hyrule one for you?
No, does that even exist physical?
I have no idea. I just know that if I was gonna play one, I might want to play to the Zelda music.
No, he just got me the regular.
Okay. Well, let's move on then. One thing, quick note. This is not something I know you're not interested in this, but Story of Seasons.
Okay. It looked kind of good, but there are enough farming games on the Switch to last 200 lifetimes.
This is crazy to me because Story of Seasons always looks like hot trash, garbage, disgusting. Yeah. Like Story of Seasons' big thing is sucking and not being as good as Harvest Moon. Okay. And so the thing that was on my mind the whole time watching this was like, they're taking this seriously. This is a remake, looks like, of the DS game. Is it? Oh. I believe it is. I could be wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it looked so good. Like graphically, it looked polished. Everything looked like it kind of should. And I was looking at this and I was just like, they must have just seen Stardew Valley and they're like, okay, guys, this is based off of our game. We are fucking this up. And like they are like, let's go back and let's pick this one. We know people like this one. It was good. Let's start here. Let's polish it out. I think this is pretty cool. I think this has a chance of being good.
Are you actually going to get this?
No.
Okay.
No, I'm just kidding. I might. No, I might. I really might. I think, if this channel does well, it'll give me more of an excuse to spend what little money I have on Switch games. But
well, there was a direct famously that had like 25 farm games.
Yeah, I remember that exact one. It was like it was just oversaturated to the point where people were complaining.
Even if this is the king of the farm games, like we don't need it.
Like, yeah, we don't need it, but I'm just saying like it looked surprisingly polished.
I thought it looked really good.
Yeah. So the next big thing for me, and you can let me know if I'm skipping, Metroid Prime 4. I know you're not a big Metroid Prime fan.
That's not big. We should skip this.
We can't skip this.
I was surprised at how early in the direct this was because I thought this is what they were going to end on.
Yeah, I thought so too. But after I saw the trailer, if you can even call it that, okay. So I complain.
It's horrible. It's trash.
Yeah. Well, hold on. I'm not trying to rustle any jimmies here. I did already mention this to a certain big Metroid fan that I know, and he seemed to think that it looked awesome. But he knows that, like, here's the thing.
Saying that. They're more excited by the idea of the game than what they've shown, because what they've shown has been nothing.
They have done a shit job, in my opinion, of promoting this game. We still don't have like what I would consider a real trailer. We got a teaser, and we got this. This is like I don't want to watch Samus like slowly use like telepathic moves with glowing purple. Awful. Like you're showing the worst part.
And then we have psychic powers, and then they show you like a boring first 5 minutes of the game tutorial Switch puzzle.
Oh yeah, they're like, we've got scanning, and they literally take the time to show you scan a very obviously destructible looking wall and say, looks like with a strong shot you could burst through this. Like, what are we doing? Give me a fucking trailer. Give me an actual look at Breath of the Wild, look at Mario Odyssey, look at Tears of the Kingdoms. These games got trailers. It's almost like they're trying to get you to forget about it as they're telling you about it.
They are keeping their cards very close to the vest with this because they're like not showing anything outside of like the first thing you do in the game.
What we saw was just actually playing through what we saw at the end of the last teaser trailer, which is where Samus goes out into the jungle area. The one thing that I can say is an absolute positive is the jungle vibes are good. It's a good kind of like eco like vibe. I like that. It's just, it feels like they're just doing this game dirty. Like, I'm not saying this is like I hate Metroid Prime. I like Metroid Prime. I'm saying this is like they're doing a bad job of promoting this game.
As someone who does hate Metroid Prime, I'm also saying an independent thing that the 2 trailers they've shown for this game have been bad trailers.
They've sucked, honestly. I think that they've been awful, and I think that like if you want Metroid to succeed, because it's not just us. I think I see people talk about this online. Really, really, really big Metroid Prime fans love the trailer still because they're finally seeing a little bit of that game. But anyone on the fence, anyone who's not like heavily invested in this is looking at this like, this looks boring as shit. This is a terrible ass trailer. Like, there's nothing going on that you haven't seen 20 years ago, 25 years ago.
I was probably going to hate buy this and pick it up anyway and try and play through it. But like, maybe not now. Now I'm like, maybe like a wait and see the reviews. And if IGN comes out and it's like a 5 out of 10, then probably not.
I'll loan you my copy via digital. I'll switch it out and switch it into Jason Switch. I'm not going to be able to stop doing that. Here's the thing. We don't know enough about the game. I'm not trying to hate on the game. I'm hating on the trailers. The trailers have been bad.
I'm sure the game will be fine, but the trailers,
I think so too. They've just done a bad job of promoting it. So the next thing on my list was The Eternal Life of Goldman. Have you seen this?
The fuck is what?
It's the game that looked like Cuphead. I'd never heard of it.
Ripoff. I didn't even write down the name of the game. That's why I wrote down Cuphead ripoff.
Yeah, that's that. Like, I don't know if I'd say ripoff. It's definitely
you did skip something that I thought looked cool, though.
Okay, let's go over that then.
Chucklefish is making this game that's like Harry Potter or some shit. I don't know. That looked kind of good.
Oh, yeah. I skipped over this. I know what you're talking about.
I don't remember what it was called, but I'm like, oh, this is really good pixel art. Like, you see a lot of indie pixel art games.
Witchbrook. Witchbrook was the name. Yeah.
This one looks surprisingly good. And then it got to the end and it's like, oh, it was made by Chucklefish. Oh, that's why. That makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that was a game that just like, I would never play that. And so I was kind of like, I have nothing to say really, other than like, I can look at the graphics.
I can fantasize about an alternate world where I have time to play this game, but I know I don't. So.
Yeah. Well, yeah, Goldman, there's really not much to say other than I thought it was interesting that Cuphead is kind of like so influential that people are like making their own games and kind of embracing that art style.
Yeah, I mean, it did so well, then obviously it makes sense.
Wait. We skipped over something extremely important. We accidentally missed it right after Rido because I didn't want to miss this. Shadow Labyrinth. Whoa.
Shut up.
Did you see Shadow Labyrinth?
Oh, the Pac-Man 3. Yeah.
Yeah, Pac-Man 3. We have Pac-Man 2. Now we have Pac-Man 3.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about Pac-Man 3. Holy shit.
I made the same joke when I saw it. I was telling Steve, I was like, it's Pac-Man 3.
It is. I mean, what else are they going to call this? What did they end up calling it?
Shadow Labyrinth.
That's a bad name. That's a terrible
I thought it
name.
was so funny. The second it showed up on screen, Skeena was like, that looks like Pac-Man. I was like, it is. Holy shit. It is Pac-Man. They called him Puck. I was like, that's Pac-Man.
Yeah, Puck-Man.
And I was like, it was a Namco game. It was a Bandai Namco game. Yeah. And I was just like, what are they doing? And then they went into like, he's eating the little dots. And
well, they added in the sound effects first, and then they called him Pac-Man.
Yeah. It's, I think... I love that idea. I think the actual like art style for the game is really ugly. Same. But like I still want to play this because I think it's so outrageous and absurd.
Yeah.
I wish more companies were like doing fun stuff on the side. Like Kirby's known for doing this stuff like Kirby's Dream Buffet, just out of nowhere kind of type stuff.
Yeah, sure.
I think it's really cool that they're playing with Pac-Man like this. It reminds me almost of ReCore, like RE:Core, which was like that Xbox exclusive from like 2016 or 2015.
I don't remember that.
You have like a little robot companion, and you're going around in kind of like a punk, like desert tech universe like this, but it's like in the desert. This was a little different, but anyway, we can go back to the other stuff. I can't believe we forgot to talk about Pac-Man 3.
We got the Gradius collection.
Yeah, that was neat. I mean, it's funny because I feel like I would just play them on the original systems, except I think they had one new game. Did they say Salamander 3 was coming, or was that already a game?
It's a shooter, so I don't care.
Yeah, I'm not good at them. I'll be playing the original Salamander, though, very soon. And so, like, you know, it was funny that they're just bringing this up.
Oh, yeah, this is a new game. I'm looking at it right now. Yeah, this is just a whole ass new game.
So, like, it's cool. You get the collection and you get a new game. Now, personally, if I'm playing these games, like, there's that, like, special factor that comes with playing it on an actual hardware. They're usually, like, not too hard to get your hands on either. I feel like that's the most fun way for me to play anyway. But, so, like, I would never play this, but I think it's kind of cool that, I think it's just cool that Gradius is in the conversation. People are going to be talking about Gradius today.
Yeah, I suppose. I don't know. I mean, this is just Konami milking what they have left. They just love putting out little collections with ROMs of their past games.
Yeah, they like, that's most of what they've done lately.
Yeah. Including Yu-Gi-Oh! They even squeezed that stone.
Yeah, I guess we can move on. Z to A looks a lot better than it did, actually, to me. Like,
really?
The thing... Yeah, I'll be honest. I still think it's dumb. It's all taking place in the city. I still don't like that. I still wish it was like you get to go out in the open and visit different locations. But something about changing it to night and seeing all the trainers like wandering the streets, that did a little something for me. I was kind of into that.
The battles themselves look like they could be interesting because they're not regular Pokemon.
Exactly. I went from a 1 out of 10 interest after seeing the last trailer to more of a like 4 to 6 out of 10 interest, which is it's just a big jump. I was like, okay.
I'm surprised because it still looks to me like a game where you're not going to be able to go into a single building despite taking place in a city.
Yeah. It's like it takes place in a quote unquote city. It may as well be the Grand Canyon because you can't go into any of these big rectangles sticking out everywhere. Like it's like they painted all the windows on. It's just like you know, I just know it's gonna feel like a 3DS kind of level game city.
I thought it was really fun how they contextualized the name Z to A because you
started Z and you move up to A. Yeah,
you go to A.
Isn't it called just like ZA? But then like
whatever. I don't know.
I don't know. But like, what's funny is I think like Kyle Bossman said in a video, he was calling it Z to A and then later corrected himself that it wasn't actually Z to A.
No, now it's Z to A.
But now it is Z to A because you're working your way from Z to A. Exactly.
And they also said when you get to A, you get a wish granted? What? Is there a magic dragon?
Is there another Pokemon remake stuffed in here that you get to unlock after you beat the game?
Pretty funny.
Anyway,
I mean, obviously that means you get like Jirachi or something, but
still. Yeah, some legendary.
Well, no, Jirachi.
You're making a wish. You're right. It's got to be Jirachi.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's like Jirachi's fucking the wish Pokemon.
Yeah.
I just thought that was very funny. It's like, well, wait a second. Who's granting the wish? How do you know that? Like, has nobody ever gotten to A rank? That doesn't make sense. Like, somebody has to be at the top.
Well, I have
another thought on this.
Okay, let's hear it.
I think it is cool that this ranking system now introduces a reason to battle people because a big problem I had in Legends Arceus was A, there was a lack of people to battle, and B, there was no reason to battle them in it, like ever, outside of story events.
You're right. This maybe that's kind of subconsciously what was like kind of interesting to me because you're battling trainers. I loved that they were all dressed like just people who worked in the city. Like one of the guys looked like he was an off-duty chef. Just like he's out there like with like he's like looking for someone to fight. I just like thought that was funny. Made me think of Urban Champion just now.
When's the Urban Champion getting a Retro Odyssey episode?
Oh, well, I skipped over that one because I heard it was bad, but there's chance for the minus season.
Have you played it?
I played the 3DS version for like 5 minutes. You remember that one?
Yeah.
Wait,
you bought that?
I don't know. Maybe.
That's
you know what I'm talking
crazy.
about? It's like
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Or 2D classics.
I know exactly what you're talking about. I remember in IGN's review, they called it a practical joke that they redid that one in 3D.
I mean, was it not? I feel like people hate that game.
Well, it's not so much that they hate it. It's just a game with so little substance. Like,
yeah, there's like nothing there. It's like not even.
I challenge you to make a video that's longer than 2 minutes about Urban Champion. Is the reason?
I'll do it.
I mean,
you just gave me a reason. I was looking for like picking up a few games for the minus season. I won't spoil exactly which I've already set on, but Urban Champion I did look up and it wasn't that expensive. So like that's a realistic one I could do.
It would legitimately be a 20-second video if I made it. There's nothing to say about that game.
Yeah, the goal is to get to level 20.
That might be when it ends.
I'm just kidding. That was like the Dragon Quest joke.
Yeah, I remember. I stuck that in my video too.
Yeah.
No, I was pretty disappointed with Urban Champion as a kid because I went to the flea market.
You're probably the only kid ever your age that played that game.
I was probably like 8, and I went with my dad to the flea market, and somebody was selling NES games, and I'm like, "Oh, this looks awesome, Dad! We got to get Urban Champion." So we did, and I played it, and I'm like, "Oh,
no!" Disappointing kids still like 20 years later. Oh
yeah, I mean, we probably paid $1 for it, but that was probably still
should have been 50 cents. You could have haggled your way into a better deal.
Probably still too much for Urban Champion in like 2004 or whenever that was.
You know, there's got to be at least one Urban Champion defender out there.
I mean, I guess if you play it 2 players, it could be kind of fun.
Yeah, I didn't know. Yeah, I think I knew, but also wasn't thinking about there being a 2-player.
Well, it's a fighting game. That's like, yeah.
Fighting. I mean, there's like what? There's 2 moves? Like,
well, there's high punch and there's low punch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
those are the moves.
I think, you know, that would be, honestly, it's a little too late for this now. That would be such a good April Fool's Day episode to talk about how like there's pretend there's like this deep depth to Urban Champion that people don't appreciate, and like how it was the original fighting game that prioritized spacing. And like it's all about like it's like literally the mind games are just like, I think that would be a great April Fool's Day video someday.
All right.
Okay, yeah, we should move on. Rhythm Heaven Groove, probably looks the most hype.
Them hitting us
second most for me, but
them hitting us with the 2026 at the end of that was like a gut punch.
Oh,
it was I was like, are they gonna wait that long for this? Yeah.
That is a little odd. I think that was the same for the other most hype announcement for me of this direct.
Have you played any Rhythm Haven games? Haven't?
Yeah, actually, that's the game I got the best deal on of my life from a retail store.
What happened?
I got Rhythm Heaven for the DS from Best Buy for $3.
Ooh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I noticed online they were having it on sale, and I was just like, $3? You know, like I went in there, and even the cashier was like, "Oh, like this doesn't seem right." You know, he's like checking it, like, "Huh? All right." You know, like
nice.
Yeah, that's the only one I've played, but it's awesome.
I've never played any of them. I just know it from the memes, but it looks cool.
The memes?
There's so many memes about the Wii one, especially.
Oh, I guess I'm behind on the times.
Dang. Well, I mean, not like new memes. I mean, memes from like 10 years ago. But
oh, okay.
there's a lot of.
Speaking of like DS and Wii games, like that should make a comeback, in the rhythm department. Did you ever play Elite Beat Agents?
I hated it.
You hated it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I never played it. I just looked at it and admired from afar.
Nintendo Power was S and its D hard, so I tried it and I didn't get it. Yeah.
Well, Rhythm Heaven looked really fun. I think the trailer, like, it's so funny. Rhythm Heaven Groove got a better trailer than Metroid Prime 4.
Way better. Yeah.
Way better. Like, that's a trailer that's leaning into and embracing what that game is, and it's making people hyped and excited for it.
That it showed off like the personality. It had like good build up.
It did.
It was like a slow burn of a trailer.
Yeah, yeah, and like it wasn't over like yeah, it wasn't showing me using. I can't keep talking about this. So that's hype. And I guess next is when they talked about the virtual game cards.
Yeah. So, are you excited? Are you gonna get this?
I think
you're gonna get these.
Well, it's like kind of like the only way to get them moving forward, right? Is it not automatic?
It seemed like you were gonna have a choice in the matter. I don't know how.
Why would you not choose to use the version that gives you slightly more flexibility?
Does it cost more money?
I don't think so. I saw Tears of the Kingdom was $69.99, so that's the regular price.
Well, it's the regular price digitally. You could find that game cheaper now.
Exactly. Now, the funny thing about this was looking at it, it was kind of like, oh, cool. I get like 10% closer to the advantages of owning physical.
Yeah.
Nice.
That was something that I noticed pretty recently. As I was at a GameStop and I saw that Tears of the Kingdom was selling used for like $45, and I'm like, oh, that's interesting.
Probably less than Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, that's like half the value. I wonder why.
Yeah. Normally
doesn't happen with Nintendo.
Well, that's weird. People don't want to spend as much money on this one.
Yeah. What's going on? Interesting.
Honestly, even as a staunch hater of that game, I feel like $45 is pretty appropriate, and like you'd probably have fun for $45.
Sure. Well, yeah, it's a good game. Like,
I think most people would really enjoy it. I think I'm like uniquely just programmed and wired to hate it.
No, well, you're not, because the video went viral saying that it sucks.
Yeah,
so a lot of people, they pulled into the zeitgeist. People were dissatisfied.
Yeah.
So like the fucking, I mean, I guess I'm gonna like do this now. I don't own very many digital games. The ones that I do are like little indie games that may or may not even work with this.
Yeah. You see, I guess when I saw this, the only thing that I was thinking was this felt like a Switch 2 announcement packed in here to kind of explain. Yeah, like, because like the question on everyone's mind is like, okay, it plays Switch 1 games, but how am I going to play my digital Switch 1 games on Switch 2? And I think this is the answer. You take this was their solution to kind of moving those over. And that's at least what I read from looking at this.
Which is kind of exciting.
Yeah. I think it's cool. I would like to move everything to Switch 2, probably, that I have digitally.
Yeah, I was thinking about maybe tying since you can only have two tie together, I was thinking about maybe tying my Switch Lite to my regular Switch and seeing what I could transfer between them, but no, probably just wait for the Switch 2.
Yeah. Well, all right, let's move on to Everybody's Golf. This was surprising.
You want to talk about this? I mean, I would have skipped over this.
Oh, no, I think this is really cool. When I first saw Everybody's Golf announced, I thought it looked like really fun, but it was on a system I don't own. So I was like, well, damn.
Somebody's going to be upset if we don't bring up their remaking some fucking Saga game.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I saw that. It looked like the art style looked not great. It didn't look good.
Saga's one of those things that in my Super Nintendo series I just haven't gotten to, so I don't have any emotional attachment to it. So I don't know.
Well, it's definitely a brand name RPG. Like people respect it. Yeah.
There's 3 of them on the fucking Super Nintendo, so eventually I'm going to have to, but not there yet.
Is there a reason you've put it off?
It wasn't on my list originally, because the first one was a really early release, but it was Japan only.
Mm-hmm.
So when I was going in chronological order, I just kind of already passed it when I added it to the list, and I never went back.
I know that struggle. Yeah.
Yeah. I wasn't going to introduce a minus world, and when I...
Yeah, it's just like my issue with Urban Champion. Like, I'm dying to make an Urban Champion, but it's just too early in the timeline. I just somehow missed my gaze.
No, when I went off chronological, like, Saga just wasn't a priority, I guess. So.
All right, well, we can move past this to probably the most hype announcement for me, which was Tomodachi Life Living the Dream.
We're just going right to that?
I mean, I'd like to.
It looks
I mean,
cool.
Is there something else I'm skipping over?
No, I mean, I don't think you are. But, like, this looks cool. How much did you play the original?
Not much. The thing is, it was a very big part of my life because I didn't own it, but my girlfriend at the time did.
Oh.
And so I was, like, playing it, and I was constantly, like, looking at it, and I was getting, like, updates on all the crazy shit that was happening. And I wanted it. I just had negative money at the time.
Oh, okay.
That this game came out, but it brought a lot of positive emotion into my life.
Okay.
I really, really liked the whole idea. I still remember the initial announcement and the funny things that they were doing with like Bill Trenton.
It was a lot better than this announcement.
Yeah, and it was like kind of a surprise announcement. No, this announcement wasn't bad. I liked it, and I liked it.
It wasn't bad either. It's just that the original is like one of the best Nintendo announcements ever. It's crazy.
That's true. That's true. I also think it's like the original, if I had a complaint, it's like some of the wild and wacky antics that occur in the game will like repeat over time because there's like not quite enough.
Okay.
But I'm hoping that there's like more craziness going on to where like you don't see the same thing twice as often.
As I said, I only actually played the game like one time.
Yeah.
Like I did buy it and I did like put it in and played it one time, but I didn't get any like repeating stuff. Like I had fun that one time.
There you go.
The memes were kind of legendary. I remember a lot of like YouTubers at the time made videos about the game, and
yeah, it was a fun time in Nintendo YouTube. You know, like when that game was announced.
Not even like a Nintendo YouTube. I mean, just more in like I remember PBG made a video and like Brutal Moose made a video. Like those types of guys made videos.
I miss that era of YouTube.
Yeah, and they made like fun videos and they had each other's me's and the fucking things, and that was kind of fun.
I miss when videos were more fun and less serious.
Damn.
Yeah.
Be the change you want to see.
Yeah, I'm definitely not leaning into. Well, I don't know, kind of, but you know. And then I guess the last thing was Nintendo.
Oh,
you know,
I got one more. I got some more stuff to say about Tomodachi Life.
Okay, let's hear it.
I screamed when I saw this because I went, no, the value, value of my. Because over the past like year and a half, Tomodachi Life on 3DS has had a meteoric rise in value.
Yeah.
To the point where I think it's like $150 game now.
Wow.
And now it's like it's gonna crash back down probably after this.
No, I don't think so, because it's not like this is a remake.
I mean, it's another way to get the same flavor.
Yeah, I guess you're right. It's vanilla versus vanillin.
Yeah,
it's like yeah. There's no shortage of like Tomodachi anymore.
Exactly, but there was.
It's
before,
not like it's not something that's forgotten and in the past and a special mystical object anymore. Now everyone gets to play.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Because I am privy to a lot of like early 20s, late teens that do YouTube videos, and just like I'm in like a Discord server, so I see them talking. And to them, Tomodachi Life was a weird mystical object from the past that they had no way to play. Unless
That's
they wanted
so
to spend
weird
$150. But
Tomodachi Life feels like very current in my present like existence. Like it doesn't feel that far away.
It's like an early 2010s thing. It was like 2012 or 13 or something.
Tomodachi Life?
I think so, yeah. Maybe it was later. Maybe it was like
I would have thought it was like 2015. Let's look this up.
Yeah, I'm not sure. It's long enough ago that like a 19-year-old right now wouldn't have played it.
2013. Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
Man, I am not good at keeping up with time.
Nobody is.
I'm not timely. I don't wake up on time. I don't do anything on time.
All right. You want to talk about the man himself coming out to announce this next thing?
He went directly to us.
They bust out Miyamoto for the hugest things, and this was such a nothing, but like also substantial announcement.
I already downloaded it. Did you?
Oh, is it up? I didn't realize it was like available.
Yeah, loading it right now. Here it is. I chose the Animal Crossing theme for now. And this is funny. I'm excited for this just because like we can have a segment like Nintendo Today Week in Review. How did Nintendo handle the Nintendo Today app this week? What did we learn? Like,
it feels like them trying to get ahead of leaks to me.
You think so?
Yeah, because everything's been getting fucking leaked lately. And if they just like announce shit whenever, what does this mean for the future of directs? Are we still going to get like big direct? Are they going to get phased out?
No, this is to let you know that a direct is happening today.
All right.
This might actually be nice if you're trying to avoid spoilers on stuff like online and like you see like you just trust Nintendo Today and nothing else.
Good point. Good point. Because they're not going to spoil their own games.
Yeah. Arlo's probably happy.
You think
that
so?
That guy does not like spoilers.
Oh, dude. No, neither do I. I mean, I actually don't care that much.
I'm not spoiler sensitive myself.
Yeah, I'm not usually either.
Yeah. Like it's nice every now and then to be surprised by something you didn't know, but it's hard to spoil an entire game. And if the game is good and if the moment is good, I feel like it hits either way, for me anyway.
I just hope that this thing gets Alarmo support so I can connect the Alarmo to the Nintendo Today calendar.
Yeah, plug in. Yeah, you're right. Do you own an Alarmo?
I would get one if it supported this app.
Okay. So yeah, that was kind of the whole Direct then.
Yeah.
Yeah, you see, it was fine. I think there was some cool surprise announcements.
I can't wait for the real Direct in a few days.
Yeah, that's the thing, though. It's kind of like I'm so excited now. Like I'm so ready. Like they got all this stuff out of the way. I don't have to hear about any of this.
We don't have to hear about any of the B announcements. Now it's just like grade A Kino coming up. Yeah. And if it doesn't deliver, it's going to be a huge disappointment. But like,
it will deliver, though. That's the thing.
You think so?
I went back and looked at the Switch because the Switch was so successful and they're following it to a T, basically. They have that, like 4 months before in October or whatever, or they showed off like that trailer, which is basically what we got for the Switch 2, like a commercial almost.
Do you think
everyone
first year is going to be huge like 2017 was for the Switch?
Yeah.